next guest this week. I binged her. Bing, bing. And these are some of the things I learned. She grew up with a pet rat, helped save wolves, and celebrated her 14th birthday in Transylvania. Please welcome Amber Tamblyn. Hello! Careful on the steps, careful on the steps. Hello. Take a seat, please. So...
I have to stop everything right now and say... Vogue Evolution is going to be on the show.
I know!
I must have spent $45 in voting and texting for them to win.
They're so
and they
amazing.
got voted off. They're amazing.
I know, and we just did a live hit earlier with them, and they were voguing in the background.
I'm shaking because when I first walked in, I was like, is that Naomi? I could have sworn, and then someone just said they're here. I'm shaking right now.
They're going to be doing a dance
amazing.
on the show. I'm shaking because I had too many Advil. So, how do you... Oh, in your intro, by the way, it said that you celebrated your birthday in Transylvania.
Yes, I did.
How do you go about doing that? What happened?
I was doing this ridiculous, silly little movie when I was like at the end of my 12th year, and that was in Romania. And then we decided to go to Transylvania, and it was a very traumatic experience.
Was it creepy there?
It was pretty creepy. I think the creepiest part was. I still do, but when I was a kid, I was a huge advocate of wolves. That was like my spirit animal.
Yeah, I was scared of them when I was a kid. I thought they'd appear at my window and be like that.
I loved them. I was all Princess Mononoke about them, wanting to ride their backs with like war paint on my face. Wasn't crazy, guys. It's okay. But when I remember going to this restaurant in Transylvania, and it was so. Creepy because it reminded me of that scene in Ace Ventura when he goes into the room of death and there's animals' faces all over the walls.
Taxidermy hell.
Yeah, and then I sit down in this chair and I look at it and the whole chair is made of one giant wolf. Oh. And it's like its paws are here and I just like had a complete...
freak out?
Meltdown.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool.
And I've been on Quaaludes ever since.
Imagine if I looked down and this was what that was.
That would be not good.
So, breakfast meat, are you for or against?
4.
Have you ever seen that meat? I don't know if they've just got it in England. The English girls in the audience can tell me. Bare-faced meat.
I don't know. What is
It's
that?
like a slice of ham, but it's like different sections, so it looks like a bear. It's still like encourage kids to eat it, but it's actually just rubbish kind of processed meat. It's amazing and it always makes me laugh. So a lot of people know you from the sisterhood of the travelling pants.
Yup.
Where was the last place you left your pants?
At the dry cleaner?
You left them at the dry cleaner?
Yeah.
Very good.
Wasn't that a good answer?
Yeah, it was. It was very good. How do you lighten up an industry party? Because you have to go to a lot of those in your line of work.
I assume you were referring to the mustache story.
I am, yes.
Okay, good segue. It's funny you ask. I went to this party for Nylon here, and it was like on page 6 or something about that I wore a mustache to evade the paparazzi, which 9 times out of 10 paparazzi could give a crap. I mean, they're like whatever. And then that same night was my rap party for The Unusuals, for the show I was shooting. And a lot of the cops on that show, the detectives wore mustaches. So for the rap party I went to Hot Topic and I bought a bunch of fake mustaches. And everybody was wearing them all night. And so I just figured, you know what, that Nylon party, there's going to be like crazy hipsters with seashells taped to their shoes and like bow and arrows and raccoon hats. So like, it wouldn't be too weird to wear a mustache. So I did.
Oh, and then they didn't like it.
They made fun of me.
You should have worn stonewashed denim then. No one would have made a fuss. Okay, so beside acting, you're also a poet. A very good poet. How did you get into it?
Well, I'd been writing for a long time, about the same amount of time that I'd been acting. And my first poem was published when I was about 11, 12 years old.
Amazing.
I know. It's a real funny poem, too, because it's called Kill Me So Much, and it's like this war cry that was an ode to my writing mentor, Jack Hirschman, who's the poet laureate of San Francisco. Yeah. But who's like an old communist poet and writes, like, all of his stuff is political writing.
How did it get published? How did that happen?
He submitted it because it was this, it was a real sort of like, die, die, they all cry with their stubborn cannons. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Amazing.
It was a very excited, enthusiastic kid who thought she knew everything about a revolution that was coming, maybe,
and you
or
have
not.
your childhood sounds like a fun time. So you have Dennis Hopper and people like Neil Young hanging around the house.
Yeah.
How was that? I guess it wasn't that weird until you knew, but
no, it's not really. I mean, I think it sounds more of a big deal. The person who I was most excited about when I was a kid was Kyle MacLachlan, because my dad was on Twin Peaks with him.
Amazing.
And I was pretty sure we were going to get married by my 10th birthday. I really tried for that. It's a little weird, But yeah, no, there's some interesting folks growing up, that my family were friends with.
Tell us about your book, because you've just got a book out, haven't you?
Yes, this is a book that's been 4 years in the making. It's poetry and prose, so it's short story stuff and also poems. And I guess it's just kind of my views or my opinions of things I've seen or encountered or been a part of, either in the industry or personally because of the industry I work in. But the prose pieces are a lot more personal.
Yeah.
They're a lot about growing up, and I mean everything from when I crashed my parents' car when I was 13 years old to getting my nipples pierced when I was 16.
Is it scary putting a book out that's quite so personal and knowing that everyone's going to know about things?
Yes, because Perez Hilton exists.
Yeah. We had him on the show. He was really nice.
He's awesome. He just wrote some really sweet thing about America Ferrera and Alexa Bledel coming to my book release party. So, but I think that's a lot harder when you're doing a film. You're going, okay, this is 50% mine because I did the best I could do.
Yeah.
I did the best I could do. With a book, it's all you. It's all your writing. It's 100%. You are so responsible for that. So it's definitely a lot more terrifying.
Yeah. Which are you more excited about, your book or your new movie, Beyond a Reasonable Doubt?
Oh my God, you're making me pick between my babies.
Then one of them's falling off the edge of the cliff. You've got to save
out of
one.
the building. I guess the book, because it just took longer and it's more personal. I mean, I love the film. It was great. I got to touch Jesse Metcalf's abs.
Were they solid?
Like a Grecian god. Which is hilarious because I'm Scottish and got a lot of this old stuff. But the movie was really fun to make. The book is a very, very personal. Was a very personal experience and journey for me. So
okay, we've got a clip of the movie actually. Can you set it up for us? Do you know what happens in this clip?
Yes, this clip is me talking to a dog.
As you do.
Roll it.
Okay, here it is.
Let me ask you something. If you had to run back to your safety deposit box to get your backup disc, wouldn't that mean that there's an original disc missing? And why would it be missing? I mean, that's just not the kind of thing that disappears, right? Maybe you lose your cell phone or your keys or something, but definitely not the single most important piece of evidence in your entire life.
Guys, isn't that crazy?
Guess what, everyone? Anne was a very generous lady, and it's present giving time. She's going to give you all a copy of her book. Bang ditto. Oh, very nice. She's like a cool Oprah. She's giving you gifts. So Beyond a Reasonable Doubt opens this Friday. Can you stick around for America's Best Dance Crew?
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah? Okay, you'll be here after the break.
Coming up, Pattinson strips down, and still ahead, ABDC's Vogue Evolution performs.